So I'm going to do two things. I'm going to share a piece of wisdom that I have with you from my life. And before I do that, I'm going to talk a little bit about myself to explain why I feel qualified to do that. So I grew up upper middle class in some of the fanciest suburbs of South Florida. I always had a pool in my backyard. I got a scholarship to go to college, and my parents saved up enough money so that when I graduated, I had no debt. And that's crazy these days, and even then, you know, put me in a position where I feel incredible. I had a very, very privileged life. I did, just beyond belief, just because of that fact alone. But unfortunately, my mother was very mentally ill, and there was no one in my life that did anything to protect me from her. And the consequence of that was that some of the worst things you can imagine happening to a child happened to me. And also some things that you can't imagine. Not to be super hyperbolic or anything, but just things that are very outside of most people's experiences, things that they don't make movies about. But anyway, my point is that I suffered a lot. And so when I was an adult, I had to figure out how to heal from all of that. And I also kind of had to figure out how to re-raise myself. I didn't have a lot of social skills. I didn't know how to be a good and kind and decent friend to people. And it took me a really long time. And I hurt people, and people hurt me. And I think that's pretty normal. But one of the things that I found very helpful, and God, believe me, I tried a lot of things. All of the things I have tried. Might be an expert. Ask me about it sometime. But one of the things that was really helpful to me was being in nature. Here. And that's what led me to go to this school. And I think a lot of people have stories like mine, unfortunately, and a lot of people were sort of guided towards nature for healing because of that. And so whoever sent you in that direction, or if it was just a voice inside of you that you listened to, be grateful. Be grateful not just to that friend or those internal voices, but to yourself for listening, for going towards a place that was healing to you. Not everyone is so lucky. Okay. So, the wisdom part. I call this 2 worlds. Yeah, you thought there was one world. Well, guess what? There are 2. And they have names. There's the world as it is, and the world as we think it should be. Let's start with this one. So, in the world as we think it should be, in the world as I think it should be, I should not have had to suffer like that as a child. And those things should never have happened. In fact, in this world, those things don't happen to any children. No children are abused or mistreated or unloved in this world. And in this world, as I think it should be, because that's how it should be, I didn't have to waste 10 years of my life just trying to heal from all of that, when I could have met somebody and fallen in love and made a family, or had a successful career, or become an astronaut, or anything I could have done with 10 years instead of just throw them away on something that should never have even happened. And now it's your turn. Or we'll do it together, I guess. So, in the world as we think it should be, there should be no war. We should all live in peace. And we should share everything equally. In the world as we think it should be, we should not take poison out of the earth and spew it on the land, and in the water, and in the air. We shouldn't be causing mass extinctions of all of these beautiful life forms on this planet, and everything else we're doing to destroy it. I mean, honestly, and we all know this, there's just too many people. There should be less people. We should have fewer kids. We shouldn't have any kids. You know, sometimes I fantasize about a meteor hitting the Earth, or that magnetic polar shift thing happening, or a horrible plague that just wipes out a good chunk of humanity. You know, just give the Earth a bit of a fighting chance, you know. Because really, we're like a disease. We're making the Earth sick. We're like cancer, just growing and spreading and destroying everything. We're a virus on this planet. And we shouldn't be here. Without us, if people weren't here, the Earth would be beautiful again. Everything would be clean, all of the animals would come back, and nature would come back into balance. In the world as we think it should be, people should not exist. So, I used to believe that, and I meet people all the time that do. You do. Someone you know does. And maybe you don't, but we've at least all entertained the thought. And that's normal, but to the people who believe that, I have to ask you, what kind of a healthy society do you think can be built upon a belief like that? And I think you only need to look around you for the answer. It's not good. But there's this other world. Let's talk about this other world. This is the world as it is. Exactly as it is. So this world, this one, that's this world. And there's evil and suffering in it. Yes, that's true. This world is free of all of that. But the problem with this world, the world as we think it should be, is it doesn't exist. And yet we spend all of our time thinking about it and focusing on it and wishing that it would happen and trying to change things to make it like this, but it doesn't exist. You gotta let it go. And I'm gonna say something pretty radical. At least it is to most people when I say it to them. This world, as it is, exactly as it is, with all the good and all of the bad, I love it. And I think that it's perfect. And I don't want to change it. Nothing at all. And I think people are shocked when they hear me say that, because their whole life they've been told by people that you're gonna change the world. You can change the world. You have to change the world. And I'm so sorry that people told you that. There's a couple problems. One, that there's some fundamental flaw with the world. Like, okay, go make your own world, I guess. And two, that it's your responsibility to change it. And the problem with that is the world is very, very big. And you are very, very small. And so you can't change the world. You can't do it. You know, people get mad when I tell them they can't do things. Just keep with me here though, it's good. So you walk around like Atlas, right? With the world on your shoulders. And it's so heavy and this burden is so big and it's crushing you, and you say, oh, it's crushing me, this world. And it's all my responsibility and I have to carry it around everywhere and I have to change it, but I can't because it's too big and God, man, it's so screwed up. People are doing this to these people and they're doing this to these people, man. This world is so screwed up, man. And so you grow to resent it. Instead of being grateful to it. So I'm gonna do you an act of kindness. Only if you want me to, though. And I'm gonna release you of your burden. So if you want me to, I'm gonna do it right now. Ready? Okay. You are free of the responsibility by the power invested in my two hands here from having to change the world. You're free of it. You don't have to change the world anymore. You don't have to do it. You're free. Okay? You know what you get to do now? You get to just live in it. Because you're free now. But there's a catch. Sorry, there's always a catch. And this one sucks because you have to do it every day for the rest of your life. And that is, you have to do everything you can to find some peace of mind in this life. Not just for you, but for everyone around you. It's a responsibility. You have to find some peace of mind in this life. Life is hard, and no one wants to talk about it, but you're gonna die, and so is everyone you know, and all of their pets. It's not pretty. So, better prepare now to do what you can to deal with this life and to help those around you. Because see, if you work really hard to find peace of mind for yourself, you'll be able to use the gifts that you have, and you have gifts. Everyone has gifts, you know it, and they're special, some kind of special thing for you. If you work really hard and you have at your peace of mind, you'll be able to use the gifts that you have to help the people around you. Why? So that you can help them find peace of mind in their life. Why? So that they can use their gifts to help the people around them find some peace of mind. So that they can use their gifts to help people, and on 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 and on. I think it's pretty cool. And maybe you see where this is going. So, imagine you work really hard and find your peace of mind, and you're able to use your gifts to learn some really special knowledge and skills. And you start a school where you teach that special knowledge and those special skills to a bunch of students, and they go out and they start schools of their own. And they teach that special knowledge and those special skills to their students, who go out and they do that to their students. And then on and 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 on, and maybe you change the world a little bit.